15 seconds for RozenSTRIKE to really make a statement here.
Yeah, I mean, even if he won the last 2 rounds, did he win any of the beginning ones? Feels like Alistair won the first 3 rounds of the fight.
Oh! Jairzinho Rozenstruik finally gets it done late!
Oh my God.
A last moment comeback win. A nasty, nasty lip injury. A controversial stoppage. The RozenSTRIKE was a spectacular superhuman move, and for many reasons, MMA fans will never forget that moment. Let's dissect everything about it. Let's start by quickly explaining the source of RozenSTRIKE's deceptive power. Jairzinho is all about weight transfer, not only horizontally but also vertically. Biggie Boy's most effective punches land while his body mass is launched upwards. If, at impact, his feet and legs are still pushing up, any of his strikes can knock you out. When his timing and his range are appropriate, his fist becomes a 245-pound object that just won't slow down if it hits something. Devastating precision, optimal weight transfer, that resumes roughly RozenSTRIKE's weird power. More details on that in this older video. RozenSTRIKE is behind on the scorecards, only a few seconds left to make something happen. He stalks Overeem down, putting a lot of pressure on him. He throws a left uppercut, and look at his legs here. Observe the push. Look at how his knee points to the target. Look at the movement of his right elbow. That's another thing RozenSTRIKE likes to do. He uses the arm that is not striking as a counterweight to maximize the effectiveness of his body rotation. You cannot underestimate the power harnessed in that beautiful strike. At impact, RozenSTRIKE's feet are still pushing up. His right elbow is still moving in the same direction as the body rotation. The weight transfer is simply perfect because it only stops after the strike lands, and that's where all the power comes from. Let's put it this way, you have 250 pounds going, let's say, 80 kilometers per hour, and you have Alistair's head right here. Imagine those 250 pounds touch Overeem's head at that insane speed, but the weight stops a millimeter after contact. Now imagine the same scenario, but the speed is reduced to 40 kilometers per hour. And this time, the weight stops after 15 centimeters. Both impacts will be pretty annoying for Overeem, but he would choose the highest speed any day of the week. And that example just shows how important weight transfer is. That strike hurts the Reem more badly than anyone who has never fought could imagine, and it will set up everything. Without that left uppercut, the RozenSTRIKE would have never existed. RozenSTRIKE leaves the ground as his fist is going through Overeem's chin, and that gives him the opportunity to immediately place his feet for his next attack. His right arm is cocked, ready to go, because it was used as a counterweight a split second ago. RozenSTRIKE launches himself up with both feet. Overeem is too far away for a conventional strike, and Jairzinho needs something special right here, right now. After 25 minutes of UFC heavyweight fighting, 245 scary pounds are catapulted forward. Mid-air, full extension, full rotation. Biggie Boy shows no mercy and splits Overeem's lip in half. The fight is over. But in reality, the drama doesn't end there. A few questions remain, 3 to be exact. Let's start by this. It looked like Overeem never saw the right hand coming. So the first question is, why? Well, first of all, the left hand had surprising power behind it. Not the fastest, not necessarily the cleanest, but the precision and the weight behind it make it a concussive blow. Look at Overeem's face. He's not quite sure of what's going on. The second reason is RozenSTRIKE's hand placement. From that position, the left uppercut is still very much a threat, and Overeem is worried about another one coming in through his guard, which probably explains why his hands were so low. The unusual range clearly surprised him as well. Not every day do you see that kind of takeoff with that kind of frame. The result, a scary knockdown that ends the fight, and that leads us to the second remaining question. Was it a good stoppage? Not gonna say my opinion right now. Let's look at the facts first. Right after the strike, Overeem is 100% unconscious. His legs are completely stiff.
His toes are still curled.
He has no control whatsoever over his body. Look at his fall. That's how unconscious people go down. his hands are not connected to his brain, and without the cage, it's very likely that his head would have slammed on the ground, as he did not brace his fall at all. After the fall is complete, Overeem still has no control over his body and clearly has no idea of where he is. Right now, Alistair is defenseless. The ref intervenes and touches Jairzinho after screaming something. The fight is over right there, but unfortunately, the ref's hesitation made the stoppage more weird than it should have been. The reality is, RozenSTRIKE would have had an unbelievable amount of time to land the most devastating uppercut we've ever seen, and Alistair would have no lip right now. The only criteria is intelligent defense, and wobbling to your corner while going away from your opponent doesn't qualify as that. Even though it was awkward, it's an absolutely correct stoppage from the ref. But how did Overeem even get up from that punch in the first place? That, for me, was the most interesting question. How could Alistair survive such a devastating blow? It all comes down to, where does RozenSTRIKE's power come from? Like we saw, his upward weight transfer is a big part of his game, and because of the insane range the strike needed, RozenSTRIKE had no choice but to hit Overeem after his body mass stopped moving up. Look, the weight is still going forward, but not upward. Biggie Boy is actually coming down when the punch lands, and so the follow-up is not as effective. He's at the very limit of his range, and so his body rotation is pretty much over at impact. Remember that counterweight elbow? When RozenSTRIKE hits, his elbow has stopped rotating already, which really shows that the punch landed at the very end of the rotation and not right before the end of it. All those factors reduce the follow-through, and because of that, the punch actually deflects and slows down when it touches Overeem. It slides through the mouth, and the power is distributed on the nose, the cheek, the chin, and even the body. The lip is destroyed. But the skull acceleration wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. The fact that the punch changed trajectory did cause a nasty injury, but it actually saved Alistair from a worse concussion. Let's say RozenSTRIKE lands his punch right then. Body mass still going up, body rotation still going on. Nothing can slow that down. The result of a fully connected, perfectly clean RozenSTRIKE would have been absolutely devastating. Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik is the definition of an unforgiving fight. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.